Every day, more and more road users are filming their journeys, which can often end in disaster. Pioneered by motorists in Russia and Eastern Europe, dashboard-mounted cameras are constantly recording our behavior on the roads. From the bizarre to the ridiculous, the funny to the downright dangerous. The thousands and thousands of dashcams around the world have captured just about every mishap you can think of. Now we're going to delve into this treasure trove of stupidity on the roads. Put things right by pointing the finger of blame. Replay the action to see what really happened. And of course, there's nothing like seeing other people's mistakes when it comes to helping us become better drivers. And please remember, on all the clips, yes, that's all the clips we show, no one, and that means no one, is seriously hurt. So drive safely. Not everyone is this lucky. Still to come on the show, more barnstormingly bonkers road use from all around this magnificent planet that, had it been isolated to Great Britain, would have resulted in the following kicks to the crotch of our majestic highway code. Article 144, you must not drive without reasonable consideration for other road users. Article 146, do not treat speed limits as a target. It is often not appropriate or safe to drive at the maximum speed limit. The one about making sure you always aim for pedestrians rambling at the side of the road. You idiot, you missed. And from Just Leave It There, my podcast on how to be a successful fly tipper, Chapter 4, always tip discreetly. As regular viewers to this fine show know, although we have a rather serious message to deliver, we do like to try and have fun whilst doing so. In order to bring joy to our many, many viewers, we tend to incorporate the odd guessing game in the running order to keep things light, and as luck would have it, I've created a new one. So why not play along with me and see if you can identify the exact moment in each of these clips that the driver realizes, I've made a mistake. An easy one to ease you in. There's the car, and look, there's the moment. I've made a mistake. Yes, you have, you total... Ah, good. Our next contributor is driving a BMW. I've made a mistake. Yes, sir. You arrogantly thought that big, expensive German car you bought to overcompensate for something you're lacking, either in your head or between your legs, could best a tram. Those bits of your front bumper strewn across the road suggest otherwise. 2 for the price of 1 here. Guy in the orange car. I've made a mistake. And I don't think I need to explain why. Guy in the silver car. I've made a mistake. You decided to allow these people to cross, and they can't even be bothered to thank you. They just give you a cursory glance to the damage your rear bumpers received, the ungrateful swines. The guy towing the Caravan has made a myriad of mistakes. Let's work our way through them. 1. Actually buying a Caravan in the first place. Just spring for a hotel, you tight git. 2. Deciding to caravan in this appalling weather. 3. Being a cyclist. God, I hate cyclists. 4. Owning those flip-flops. No wonder that guy gave you a bump on the bum, you terrible human being. Driver of the car we're traveling in. I made a mistake. Yes, sir, you did. You allowed yourself to be distracted by the big truck in front of you that's carrying explosives. It says Cemex, not Semtex, you clot. Though well done for remaining vigilant in these difficult times. Person driving the black car. I made a mistake, and I really don't think there's any doubt about what it was. Being born. Regular viewers to our show will know we've recently acquired the services of a new in-house magician for our occasional feature, Abracadabra. His first performance was, shall we say, a little lacking, so we sent him off to work on his act. He assures me that today our minds will be truly blown by what he has to offer. So strap in, everyone, as the incredible Car Smashini is about to take to the stage once more. I give you Abracadabra.
Good evening, you lovely people, and for my first trick, an old favorite for you to enjoy. The sun is providing the perfect shadow, so you can question whether or not a car will be arriving from the left or the right.
Whoa. First, the sun is providing a terrible shadow. Second, this is an old trick, but it's definitely not my favorite.
I'll put you out of your misery. Abracadabra, it was the right.
Of course it was. I can see the ruddy car. You've had a week to work on this.
Next, one of the classics reimagined. The red car up ahead is going to receive a little bump, but will it come from the left or the right?
It's not a classic, and chucking a red car into the mix doesn't reimagine it either.
Abracadabra, it was the left. A round of applause? You're too kind.
That's not applause. That's me ripping up your contract.
And as our illustrious host comes to the realization that my contract can't simply be ripped up and he's stuck with me for at least the series, you can come to realize if this car ahead will be hit from the right or the left.
Oh God, he's right. We need to fire the lawyer.
Abracadabra! It was the left! Congratulations if you got that one.
Don't you patronize our audience.
And finally, a little curveball for you. Two possible cars, but will we hit the one on the left or the one on the right?
Wait, you've done something different there, haven't you? Hallelujah. Maybe my judgment isn't so off after all.
Abracadabra! It was the one on the left. I have been the incredible car smashini, and you have been a truly wonderful audience.
Phew. Okay, good. We have progress. With a bit of luck, he'll saw a woman in half next week or something. Find out next time on Abracadabra. We here at Car Crash TV like to think we provide a service in keeping you, the general public, safe and sound on our roads. Sadly, though, that doesn't really pay the bills. And with a number of potential lawsuits in the offing from our former research team, we really need to start bringing in some cash. So, in an effort to claw in some bunts, we've developed our very own shopping channel. Here's Paddy O'Neill with the latest bumper crop from Wheeler Dealer TV. Our first offering today is this lovely wee city car, small but perfectly formed and surprisingly easy to get in and out of, considering the size. A snip at £1,000 and should leave you with enough money left over to tempt a more chivalrous boyfriend. Let's look at that again. Aye, he's actually annoyed at her falling out of the car. What a This black SUV is packed full of power, which makes it perfect for those busy stretches of road where overtaking is regularly required. Don't worry, we'll make sure the upholstery is thoroughly clean before you take delivery. A steal at £3,000. This MPV is a perfect family wagon, and as she's a big girl, she comes equipped with those rear parking sensors that our mechanic Fergal will make sure are in full working order once we get a bid. Should we say £5,000? A new invention from our friends in Korea, the Big Boot is perfect for those that need to transport heavy loads, and the spring-mounted door system is ideal for speedy loading and unloading. Modern technology like this comes at a price, but at £7,000, it's worth every penny. Speaking of modern technology, here's the latest 7-seater from Bulgaria. Great for those with a lack of knowledge about contraception or a Catholic upbringing, and I promise you, the visibility is better than it looks. Go on, treat yourself. They're only £12,000 a pop. It's easy to find fault in someone or something. God knows my wife is a master of it. I could argue the toss with her, stand up for myself and defend my honour, but I don't, because she's from money. And were she to leave me, I might have to get a proper job. Perish the thought. Instead, then, I stand up for others by finding fault in drivers' behaviour out on the roads. And to keep things light, I've turned these investigations into a fun little game that you, dear viewer, can play along with. Let me hear you say, Blame Game! First up, and we can dish out some early blame here, to the local council for failing to tarmac this road. You've knackered this poor bloke's tracking. But can the driver of the car we're travelling in also blame this chap for crossing his path? Well, if we wind back a little bit, you'll notice a giveaway sign just there. So no, he can't. A pointy finger of blame this way, please. That little bump did fix his tracking, though, so every cloud. It's got a long run up, this clip, so I'm going to use it to explain how to turn at a crossroads with traffic lights. As you can see, this guy is indicating good start. Now, as he's almost at the junction, once those lights turn red, he has a few seconds to make his turn before the cross traffic starts to advance. That should be ample time, though, and the only thing that might stop a successful turn would be if someone were to jump the aforementioned red light. Like the prat you just heard beep his horn, thinking he was well within his rights to proceed, I've got news for you, pal. There's a red light there that says you aren't, so blame! Still, I hope we've all learnt a little something today. Okay, another crossroads coming up, but crucially, no traffic lights, which might make this one a little trickier to unravel. But if we wind back just a tad, you'll recognise the word stop clearly displayed in that hexagonal sign. You'll then go on to also notice the back of another hexagonal sign just over there. Now, I don't like to make assumptions. However, I think it's safe to say that sign also reads stop, which means blame to you for, well, not stopping. And finally, an easy one to wrap up with, I think. In fact, we don't even need to wind back. Yes, there you can see not one, but two clear green lights, which means it's a lovely portion of blame bye to this fella here. Well, that's all for now, folks. And remember, just like the famous saying, where there's blame, there's fun to be had on comedy clip shows. Throughout this show, we've seen a lot of crashes involving motor vehicles, so I wonder if maybe we've got it all wrong. Perhaps we'd all be better off ditching the wheels and using our legs instead. You know what? Let's all hold hands and find out together. Though as this next item is called The Pedals of the Pedestrian, I think we may already have our answer. The guy in the red anorak's got a keen eye. Look how quickly he turns from violent pedestrian into caring passerby. Must have spotted the dash cam filming him. Too late, fella. We've got you banged to rights. And now for your viewing pleasure, I give you the best dressed rambler of the week. An award and a near-death experience all in the same day. Somebody's hit the jackpot. I don't need to say anything about this next clip. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Again. And again. And again. Seriously, I could watch this all day. Coming up later on Car Crash TV, there's a distinct smell of pork in the air as we come across some road hogs. A distinct smell of manure in the air as we head out in the sticks. And a distinct smell of hot dogs and beer in the air as we enjoy another round of stock car collisions. But first, what a depressing stretch of road. This could do with some spicing up. I wonder, what happens next? Welcome back to Car Crash TV. So what did happen next? Well, in this part of the world, they're obsessed with the classic American TV show, The Dukes of Hazzard, and are always looking for ways in which to recreate scenes from their favorite episodes. I'm equally obsessed with the show and do all these voiceover sessions whilst wearing a pair of Daisy Duke's denim hot pants. Hopefully that image is now burnt into your retinas. You're welcome. Sharing is caring, but unfortunately, when it comes to the highways, there's a certain breed who just don't do either. Renowned for their piggish behavior, these swines are a menace on the road and will chop you up at any opportunity. Have you seen where I'm going with this yet? Someone close the paddock gate. The road hogs are running free. What a glorious day. This dash cam's poor exposure is misleading us to believe it is. Surely no one could be selfish enough to claim the road as their own in such stunning grading. It can't be this silver fox we're approaching. He's waiting so patiently at this junction before his turn. Ah, there's our road hog. So desperate to mark the junction as his territory, he's just all over the driver's seat. I'm sorry to break it to you, Mr. Piggy, but there are other cars on the road today. They say men can't multitask. Well, let's put that theory to the test. Sorry, chaps, it's true. If this guy can't turn left whilst avoiding a signpost, then that's all the evidence the ladies need. In 2017, no one has time to drive slowly. They need to be back to gorge on their favorite on-demand TV show. This van driver can't wait. He's streaming it on the move, spending more time looking at his phone than the road. Bloody millennials! No matter how well you look after your car, it can fail its MOT on the smallest of things. For example, did you know that if your horn doesn't work, then you don't get your certificate? I wonder if this guy's road legal. Nope. In this part of the world, there lives a crash fairy who bestows upon poor road accident victims one wish if they get unexpectedly rear-ended. There you go. I'd opt for a new rear bumper if I were you. Remember at primary school when the big tall bully thought he owned the place? Despite the fact he was a year older, he drives lorries now, and he does not own the place. The nerds he used to bully, though, do, and will take this damage out of his wages. Revenge is so sweet. Driving around in a circle quickly. At first, that sounds like it might be fun, but how about if you had to do it for 500 laps? Dull, right? And yet our American cousins swear this is a viable sport. Well, we at Car Crash TV have more imagination than that, so we've taken the simple sport of stock car racing and spiced it up a bit. So grab a hot dog, a brewski, and a big foam finger, and settle in for what, according to reports, is Donald Trump's favorite item on this show. It's stock car collisions! We start today with Marlon Bush. When he's not riding stock car, Marlon plies his trade as a topiarist. In fact, reports say he is one of the finest bushmen this side of Miami. And as my wife can confirm, Marlon knows his way around some pampas grass, and her privet has never looked neater. She's even booked him in to tackle her unruly hibiscus before our anniversary. Marlon is laying down an impressive time here, and his run is over for a handsome 27 seconds. See you next week, Marlon, and don't forget your weed whacker. On the right, in the red, is Red McMurray. It's a bad start from this ginger prince, but he's trying to make amends by flooring it into the corner. Bad move, Ginge. You've just lost the back end and collided with big bad Butch Dexter for a poor score of just 8 seconds. On board now with Betsy Newman. This Alabama native is considered to be queen of the stock car circuit because she insists on driving around it whilst consuming afternoon tea. It's a tricky business eating cucumber sandwiches and drinking Earl Grey at the wheel, but so far Betsy is making it look easy. But a bump in the road sees Betsy spill hot tea all over her warm scones, ending her run for just 22 seconds. On the plus side, this means I'll get to sample Betsy's macaroons later on in the pit lane. Riding now with Corey Regan, and we seem to be getting quite a bit of interference on his camera. Corey is a staunch believer in alien life, so often drives around with tin foil on his head to stop those pesky Martians from stealing his thoughts about creamed corn, Mexican wrestling, and a vaguely attractive second cousin. That tin foil is definitely affecting the camera though, so at least it's doing its job. Shame the same cannot be said for Corey, as that close encounter means his ride is over for 26 seconds. Pulling up to the start line now is Rover Peterson. Interesting fact about Rover is that, as his name would suggest, he's a dog. And he's off. Yes, this handsome golden retriever doesn't let a pesky thing like paws get in the way of competing. So far, so good for a man's best friend, though I cannot help but think he'll come unstuck when he has to turn. Sorry, Rover, the track is no place for a dog, but 17 seconds is an impressive time considering you don't have opposable thumbs. Our final competitor today is the favorite Steve Steele. Steele by name and steely by nature, no man is going to come between him and that trophy. A dog, however, could cause him some problems, as look, here comes Rover Peterson. With no understanding of the rules or anything beyond humping and eating, Rover had no idea his run was over, which means bad news for Steele and a bad score of 17 seconds. Somebody please get that dog out from behind the wheel. This is a serious sport. So our winner today is the perfectly trimmed Marlon Bush. I'll look forward to enjoying his craftsmanship soon, and I'll see y'all again for the next thrilling round of Stock Car Collisions. Wouldn't it be nice to just jump on a plane and jet off to a place where the sun is abundant, the alcohol is cheap, and the women are attracted to a suave British accent? Sadly, this job isn't exactly the cash cow I was hoping it would be, so I'll have to be content with popping my walking boots, cagoule, and shih tzu in the back of the old Volvo and seeing what sort of mischief I can get up to out in the sticks. There's a knack to driving out in the sticks on those narrow country roads. The guy we're riding with has it. That guy, not so much. Congestion doesn't usually occur out in the sticks, so when a traffic jam suddenly happens, it sends the locals into a state of panic. Dang it, Cletus! I've spilt my moonshine! Car Crash TV, your one-stop shop for outdated stereotypes. And if congestion is unusual, then crime is practically non-existent. So when a police car suddenly appears, well, it sends the locals into a state of shock. Dang it, Mary Lou! I almost choked on my beef jerky. I'm warning you lot, we're gonna get complaints, and I'm not replying to them. Out in the sticks, they're a fiercely religious bunch, so even a minor sin must be immediately absolved. To help, in this depressing backwater, they've erected a mini church at the side of the road for drive-through confessions. That eagerness for absolution can lead to conflict on the roads, though. Calm down, mate. Apparently it's okay for cousins to do that round here. There's an abundance of wonderful scenery to take in whilst driving out in the sticks. However, the monotony of seeing miles and miles of uninterrupted beauty can lead to motorists becoming weary at the wheel. Fortunately, in this part of the world, the local council have devised a foolproof method to help keep drivers on their toes. Yes, hurling tires at cars might seem a little on the extreme, but Plan B was landmines, so count yourself lucky. Before venturing out in the sticks, be sure to familiarize yourself with local road signs. These folk don't play by our rules and have their own signage system in place. Take this offering. Any ideas what this could possibly mean? The exclamation mark suggests we should be cautious. And are those train tracks? Only one way to find out. Let's run the fun! Of course. Idiot ahead, about to go off-road. It's easy when you know.